everyone. Welcome to episode 14, for reals this time, of the Being Youthful podcast. I am Kim Beekler. I am the owner of Ewethful Fiber Farm and Mill, and we are down between basically Salem and Eugene, Oregon, kind of in the middle of there. And for those of you that are new to joining us, I haven't really introduced myself for reals in a while, so in case you didn't go all the way back to the beginning, I own a wool mill here in Halsey, Oregon, and my husband is a grass seed farmer, which is how I ended up here in the Halsey-Harrisburg area. We came back, we actually met in Portland, and we came down here so he could go back into farming with his father in, I think it was 2014. So we're coming into I think it's our 8th harvest, even though it's our, I don't know, it's a lot of harvest, 7th harvest. Anyway, we're coming up. So, and I started the mill in 2017. So that's what we do, and you can find me all over the place. Our website, which has our online shop, is at ewethfulfiberfarm.com. We're on Instagram in 2 places, at Being Youthful Podcast and Ewethful Fiber Mill, and then we're also on Facebook at Ewethful Fiber Farm and Mill, and I'm on Ravelry also as Kim's Day, and we have a group that is youthful. I'm not super active on there, so forgive me. It's just I run out of time in the day. Oh, and we also have a blog at beingyouthful.com. So if you like what I'm doing here, please don't forget to subscribe. Just hitting the subscribe button. Of course, if you like us, hit the like button. And I love comments. I love comments so much because it's so fun for me to know that you all are watching and hopefully learning a little bit, or just enjoying this while you spin and knit along, crochet along, whatever it is you're doing. And we're almost at 200 subscribers. So like 2 more people, if you subscribe, I'll have hit 200. And it's funny because I used to get super obsessed. It's kind of the same way you can when you own a business, for sure. But even as a person on social media, like, how many followers do I have? How many people, blah, 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 blah. I was like that when I started out on YouTube, and then realized, you know what, enough people are watching. So it doesn't really matter as long as people are there and watching, but more people can find us more easily the more that you all subscribe and like and comment. So please share. The last 2 weeks have been like this. Sometimes it takes everything in me to stop and like catch my breath and sort of chill and see where I'm at. Lists are the way I get through, and I have lists everywhere, and then I have to remember where the lists are. But anyway, it's just been a lot going on. Fiber Club and Yarn Club kind of came up at the same time, which happens every 3 months, and I learned a lot from this Yarn Club. This is only the 3rd installment of the Yarn Club. The yarn, I'm going to talk about it later. It's stunning. It's really stunning, and I'm knitting a project with it right now. It's out there, but if you are in Yarn Club and you have not gotten your yarn yet, there are spoilers later on, so I'll let you know before I start talking about it. But I was working on both of those, and then I didn't run out of wool, but I realized I was not going to have enough wool for Yarn Club, so then I needed to go do another wool buy. Had to do another wool buy. So anyway, that was all happening. I had a second festival for the year, which is the first ones that we've had this year. And that was out in Redmond, Oregon, which is east of us. And I went out and stayed the night out there. And while I was there, I went to get pizza, and I got these fabulous earrings. So they're quail feathers. The woman told me that I handmade them. And there's leather. Like these, they're so long and big and beautiful. And I absolutely love them. So that happened because I got there. The festival was just a one-day market fair, basically a fiber market fair, and I got there on Friday, and I set up for about 2 hours. So I drove there, which is about 3 hours, just under 3 hours, set up most of my booth, and then went, and all I wanted to do was like get pizza, have a beer in my hotel room. So that's what I did. There was an awesome brewery that has a bunch of food carts out front, and of course, while I was waiting for my pizza, they had vendors. So there was a jewelry vendor, which I can't, and her name, just so that you can find it, and I'll put it in the show notes, is Obsidian Sweet Pea Designs, and she is on Instagram. I know because I tracked her down last night because I posted about these and shared and started following her. And I also, there was another vendor there, because like vendors for me, that was two women that were selling goat milk products, so soaps and they had soy candles too, and so I bought some stuff while I was waiting for the pizza. But I supported other local artisans, which is great, and I love all the stuff that I got there. I actually lit the candle for the first time. I was like, whoa. So I will, as soon as I open the soaps, I'll probably show them to you, and I'll definitely show them on social media. So, but they were two really nice women. One of them was a teacher who had been laid off, and I think she was a preschool teacher, and the other one was a nurse. So, I mean, come on. So anyway, there's my earrings, and the festival went great. I actually have videos from the festival that I need to throw together and do a mini-sode, and I will try to get that done soon. What else has happened? I think all I do is go to the vet. When you have this many animals, and you know, like our chickens and our alpaca have the alpaca doctor, the llama doctor comes to them. So that happens twice a year. And so that's a little bit easier. The horse, the farrier comes every 6 weeks. So that is easy. I don't have to transport anybody anywhere. The sheep, I do most of the stuff myself, although we did take them to be castrated this last week, which went swimmingly. They were not thrilled. And Johnny Rose has held a little bit of a grudge still, but they're getting over it and they're healing up well and everything's good there. But we loaded them all into the Honda. I have an Element that I drive, and it was a great lamb van. Let me tell you, it worked out perfect. So we had that, and then between the dogs and the cats, and I feel like I am running to the vet all the time. And Wish is sitting right beside me in her happy place. And she gets to go back to the vet next week, I think. No, she goes on Friday. Fun for all. She actually can't, getting into the crate is a thing for her. But so a lot of vet appointments. Harvest is coming up, and we're actually going on a staycation starting at 5:30 tonight. I am meeting my husband at home, and we are driving to go get a beer and celebrate that we are taking 2 full days. I know that sounds like a weekend, but we're not going to work through Wednesday. So Thursday, I think we have to go back to work. But we're going to take 2 days at home. We're not working on projects. We're not cleaning the house. We're not cooking. We're just hanging out together and doing our hobbies and things like that and taking care of the animals. But we decided to try a staycation this time because we both love our home. And quite honestly, it saves us a lot of money and a lot of hassle from leaving, which we love to leave and travel too. But it does take a lot to write all the notes and get the farm sitter set up and pay the farm sitters and pay and move and all the stuff. So we decided, you know what, this is short. Let's just do this at home. So the harvest update, and I brought something fun for us. So harvest is literally just around the corner. We had a lot of rain this weekend, which we needed because I think are like 4 inches short for the year, which is insane for Pacific Northwest. So we got a fair amount. I think we got like an inch over the last couple of days. So in the meantime, harvest is around the corner. So I brought grass seed. Well, I brought grass actually, not just seed. So you can tell, I just went and pulled this from our field. Wade, look away. I owe you a couple pennies because I stole some grass. Wade's my father-in-law. Look away. Anyway, so I have the grass standing up next to me, and I'm sitting on a chair. So it's a solid, like 4 feet tall. And at the end of it, and you could see how long and long and long it goes. So we grow specific different types of grasses. And I'm not going to get too into it, but I just thought it would be fun for you to see like the grass fields right now. And this is a majority, I'd say, of what is growing all around us in this area. Grass seed capital of the world. And so there is the tip, and that is the seed. I'm going to try to make it stop moving. So there's the seed. So basically we're all waiting for the fields to turn, meaning that they kind of go from a green to a brown. They've been cooked in the sun long enough. And then what happens, which is going to happen probably at the end of this week, is that they will go through and they'll cut this with giant lawnmowers. They're called windrowers, just kidding. They don't look like lawnmowers. But they cut this, it lays on the ground for about 10 days, hopefully in sunny, dry weather, so it can dry out. And then they come through with the combines, and I'll try to get videos of all of this for you guys because I know you want to see. I mean, it's kind of cool, right? It's fun to learn about something else. And I think I've mentioned before, I met Mitch. I would drive I-5 and think, what a shame. All those fields just sitting there with nothing on them. Turns out there was a lot on them. Not just wild grasses. So anyway, they'll go, and once it's dry, then they separate out the seed from the stalk. So that's about to happen. The rain now has to dry out the fields, but it's supposed to get into the 80s and maybe even 90 next week. That's it, game on. Everything will dry out and this will all be turning crispy and it will need to be cut. So that is my little lesson on grass seed farming. And in case you're wondering what the hell, I think I've talked about it, but grass seed is used for lots of things. It's used for lawns. It's used for golf courses. It is used for feed. Because guess what most livestock eat? Grass. So it's kind of a, people are always kind of like, you grow what for what? So we go grow grass for seed. So there's my harvest update. Next time I am on here, I'll try to have a video of them cutting, and I will have said goodbye to my husband because he will be farming. He'll be in full farming mode for quite a while after that. But so that's what's happening on the harvest front, hence why we are taking a staycation, so we can just hang out together for a few days before we don't get to see each other as much. There's so much else that has happened, but a lot of it's been centered around work. I've been working a lot. So I'm excited. And I actually did take a little break on Saturday, and I took an online Zoom class on dry flower wreath making, and it was through a farm that is just a little bit south of us. It's just in Eugene, south end of Eugene, called Charles Little and Company. I will put a link to them. They are also on social media, and super fun to follow because there is nothing that will brighten your Instagram feed better than beautiful flowers. And Bethany talking about flowers. So it was super fun, and I did it because I just kind of wanted a break. I wanted to learn something new and take a little bit of break from wool because I have been pushing so hard, and it was just nice. And I wasn't meaning for it to become like some crazy craft that now I go spending all my money on this craft to make, but I wanted it to be something I could kind of just go to when I don't feel like knitting or spinning or doing any woolly things, or my body doesn't feel like me doing, because sometimes my elbows get sore, my hands get sore, everything gets sore. And so I thought it was just something new and fun, and I just love flowers. The passion for flowers is growing strong. I just love them. They make me happy. So Charles Little and Company, I'll put their contact. They also have a U-Pick flower farm. It is, I'm not gonna cuss, but it's really flipping fabulous to go out there. They have a farm stand 3 or 4 days a week, and then you can also U-Pick on those days. It's just really spectacular. So anyway, I should have brought my wreath, but I will put a picture of it here. It was good for a first timer. How's that? Okay, I think I'm gonna stop here, show you what's going on at the farm. It was a rainy day when I was out filming yesterday, but still you get the gist of it, and also how my animals are wimpies. And I just came from, this just made me think of it, I literally just came from doing a wool buy and a farm tour at another farm that is up north that has Jacob sheep. So I'm gonna show that probably on Saturday or the following Saturday. I'll put that out. Hence why my hair is a frizzy mess, because it was still raining up there. But what brought me to that was that the Jacob sheep were standing out in this pasture in the rain, just happy as could be, grazing away. Do you know where my sheep would have been? Under the cover, saying, no, we don't get wet, we're very precious. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I will be back after the farm tour, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Hi everyone, it's what's happening at the farm time. It's Sunday as I'm recording this, and I just finished cleaning out the chickens. Sundays is kind of my do some big farm sort of farm chore day. Anyway, so I cleaned out nesting boxes, swept out the barn, changed water, did all the stuff to make them nice and fresh. So I'm gonna flip around and let you see. It's not the most glorious. 70 degrees and super rainy, which is good. There's my ever-growing pile of crap and dirt. Nigel is desperately wanting to go eat chicken poop, but he keeps getting yelled at. So I think I have a chicken. We have so many barn swallows that I had to clean the barn out really well. And also all these chickens equals a lot of poop. So I think somebody's busy, so we'll just peek in and say hi to her, but not, she's of course in the one box. Oh, hi Mama. She's been waiting. That's the one box I didn't clean, of course. Nigel, out! Any chance he gets. There he is, stinker. So, now, it's kind of midday. I actually got up and let the chickens out at like 7:30. And then I went and I crawled back into bed. There's Elsie. And that was really nice. So I'm out here pretty late. So by the time I got up, it was time to chickens everywhere. Chickens. And if you put anything new down, the chickens have to check it out. And I just threw that bale there. So let's see, I think everybody's tucked in because it's so rainy, and God forbid that any of these animals go out in the rain. As you can see, it's a pretty rainy day. This is kind of light, and they're all coming running because they think I'm going to give them something good. Guys, not today. Not today. I've gotten a little bit more hardcore about how many treats that they get because we've got them on a really good, expensive feed. And as the chicken whisperer would say, that is the treat. They don't need all the other treats because if they're eating all these other treats, then that's less of the crazy good stuff that you're feeding them. So here's everybody tucked in. And they're not going to come out for you because they're like, it's raining. We'll see if we can peek at them from the other side. And so 3 of the boys got castrated this week. That was my big fail. It's a little traumatic for all of us, but we have survived. Johnny Rose has not forgiven me yet. Patrick decided that I was semi-forgivable. And then the other little David Rose, who I only just started being able to pet this week, he is actually, I have to pet him like, here's everybody. We'll go say hi over here. So I have to pet him through the fence. It's like no making eye contact. But he is still letting me do that, which is exciting. And his fiber, he's the black and white boy. Here's everybody. See? Nobody goes outside in the rain. Even Cuddlebug. Do you see Cuddlebug right there? Sitting all pathetic. And this big pile of poop is sitting here because I'm going to dump it after I'm done. Now June stays in. Look at Cuddlebug. Could you look at a sadder goat? It's raining. I can't go out. So the girls are in. You can see their poop pile because God forbid they go out in the rain and poop. And that's still covered. Hi Junebug! She doesn't mind. She stays in until about 3 or so anyway, so she's like happy as a clam. She's got a big old thing of hay. There's Cuddlebug. Lots of chickens. The chickens are funny. They still kind of stay separate. Rue always has to get... I'm sorry, girls. I'm going to come through and interrupt you. And this is another great laying spot. You can see that chicken there. And she... so, my old chicken... I'm going to scoot past the alpaca without... Guys, I'm coming through. I'm coming through. I know. There we go. Here's the whole crew. Let's see. How do goats make themselves look so sad? I don't even know. Cuddlebug, that is pathetic. Sorry guys, I'm taking a picture of that while I'm here. And here's Lakshmi, who apparently has no plans to get up. And you can see all of the sheep tucked in. I might be able to stand on something. Maybe not. Probably not a good idea. Everybody's just hunkered in from the rain. But all the boys, like I said, are doing well. Slowly forgiving me, which I can't blame them for. And we're just doing some chores. And so today's like 70 and rainy, and we have, there's Rue, like 2 more days, and then all of a sudden it pops up to 80s and even like 90 in a week. So that means this is the last push before harvest. Once the fields dry out and it turns hot, the fields are just going to start to cook, so they will start cutting then. And Rue apparently is saying, We are done. Kettlebug, are we done? Dork. We'll let this chicken take us out. Look at, there's the other chicken waiting. Are you done yet? I would like that spot. These are my old chickens. They still kind of keep separate, but they live together. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming on the tour today. Back to scoop and poop. Actually, let's let Rue take it out, huh? Seems appropriate. You gonna give us a good one? No, not when you're watching, he says. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Sorry to end on a pile of poop. Farm life. All right, have a good week, everybody. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the farm tour. The sheep did eventually come out. Everybody eventually came out during the day, and it rained. It just rained. We got a lot of rain. So anyway, I'm back. Let's talk about some other things. So, update on, you might remember a couple episodes ago, I talked about our Prineville yarn getting picked up for a sock pattern. And it's going to be, and the people that put the magazine out sent me, not the pattern, it's not coming out till the end of the year, but they sent me a copy of the magazine. It's called Making Stories. It's so beautiful. I'm really excited to be a part of it. They focus on sustainable yarns. It's got all sorts of different patterns. It's just really beautifully put out. It's in beautiful paper. I mean, it's printed on beautiful paper. There's all sorts of different fun patterns. So there it is. We'll be in, I think it's issue 7 that we're in. But I'll double check on that. So they emailed and they said that test knitters, they're going to be looking for test knitters in July. And so I needed to, which was a good reminder to me, since I thought it would be fun for you guys to follow along in this process, because it's a new process to me also. So they did email and say test knitters will be picked by mid-July, and then, you know, do we want to offer a discount for the test knitters to buy that yarn, which is great. I'm actually going to be putting kits together, so once I have the yardage from the designer, I can put, because it'll have, you know, if you want to do a toe and heel in a different color. And it's a cable sock from what I understand. I have not seen the pattern or the sock. So next week I have to go on yet another wool buy, which I just did a wool buy today, and then I did a wool buy, a week and a half ago. I got a lot of wool right now. It's almost giving me anxiety because that pile in my in Mitch's, I should say, shop is growing and growing and growing. So I'll be doing some organizing at the end of this week because my anxiety level gets so I'm gonna go to Eastern Oregon to purchase more of the wool. I emailed my mohair person to make sure she was gonna have enough mohair that would get me through the end of the year. So that is super exciting. I basically need to make sure I have some yarn stocked up in the kits ready for mid-July. And then the pattern, I believe, comes out at the end of the year, but I'll kind of be chunking away at making a lot of that yarn over the next couple months, and then coming up with some new colors for it to dye. So super fun. That's where we are in that process. If you are interested in being a test knitter, I will put a link in the show notes, but basically you're going to makingstories.com/test knitting, test space, or test, okay, whatever that thing is called. Anyway, I'll go ahead and put it right here, and then I will put a link to it in the show notes in case you are interested in being a test knitter for them, or specifically for that sock. I assume you could probably put some notes. So that's what's going on there. Super exciting, and I get to go on another wool buy, but for a very specific purpose this time. When I go on wool buys these days, they are very specific for the most part because I have a lot of wool. And it's kind of like how I am with knitting when I'm buying yarn and stuff. I'm trying to be super mindful about what am I gonna do with this wool, because I don't want it just to sit and sit and sit. So anyway, there's that. I forgot to mention one really awesome thing that happened. I mean, it's been a great couple of weeks. It's just been sort of hectic, and sometimes I'm just like, whoa. But I went and checked my P.O. box, and there was a thank you card in the mail from a viewer just telling me she appreciated the podcast, right? And it could not have come on a better day, and it was just so nice and awesome. And I also saw one of my kind of regular people that I know at the Fiber Festival that was a couple of weeks ago, and she made a really nice donation to our Fiber It Forward program, and she brought me fiber from a mill that's in Washington for me to spin. And I was like, what? So to both of you, thank you. Super appreciated. It's nice I love spinning wool from other mills. It's just super fun, or knitting with wool from other mills, and it was just nice. It was nice. So thank you to both of you. I'm not saying you guys should all send me things, but it was just one of those, you know, getting a card in the mail really is kind of a big deal because it doesn't happen anymore, and it was just a really nice sentiment. So thank you to the person that sent that card, and thank you to the person who brought me goodies and donated to Fiber It Forward. So anyway, super awesome. People are good. It's nice. Okay, Yarn Club, look away. Look away! Spoiler! So this Yarn Club is, I'm just gonna show it to you first. Whoa, look at the color. So this is horned Dorset wool. Horned Dorset are on the conservation list, and I should have written up my notes, but as being, I'm not sure of their level right now, so I apologize, as being a threatened breed, basically. And I will put a link to the Livestock Conservancy. They have a whole list of breeds that are endangered, and Horned Dorset is one of them. This yarn is epic. So this is one of the first times, I think once I did a chunky yarn for a client, but I would consider this a chunky. It's a 2-ply. It's absolutely stunning. This breed is considered a down breed, and I'm gonna stick my face right in your guys' face. Who doesn't like that? So, Horned Dorset, here's what the lock looks like. Holy cow, so different from the other wools that I've showed you. It's so dense, so dense. They are a down breed. It has so much bounce to it. I mean, just bounce. And there are some crimps in there, but it's pretty unorganized. It's so pretty. So let's compare it, because we like to say wool is not generic, right? Here's my pretty face. Sorry guys, you're just gonna get it right up in there. All right, so let's compare. Horned Dorset. And Horned Dorset, I think it falls in the middle 20s of the microns. So I would consider this next to skin. It's not merino and it's not cormo, but I think you can wear most Dorset next to skin. Obviously it depends on the fleece. Okay, here was our Lincoln. Here's our Horned Dorset. So they don't grow that much. I mean, I think most of the time you're gonna get like 2 to 4 inches off of them. It's not a ton, and that's after a year. So there's one, and then here's our Shetland. You guys, wool is not generic. And all of the yarns are so different, because this created a really, really stretchy, poofy, I mean, the poof factor on this yarn is not anything like what you're gonna get from this yarn. And you can see how poofy it is just by looking at it. Look at the comparison. You're not gonna get the same poof from the same yarn. So, and I do have some videos of me working on it, and it literally shows the poof factor, because I show you as I soak them, because I soaked this yarn instead of steaming it. But you can kind of see, and I do show it really well, this is not soaked, and this one is. And there's so much poof. There's so much poof, in fact, that the color saturation lightens, because this poofs out so much. And when, you know, the more dense that a color is, the tighter the fibers are together, the more dense and I don't know if you want to say luscious, but the color is, right? More saturated the color is. So this poofed up when it hit the water, so it even lightened up the tiniest bit. And it's hard to tell here, but I think you can tell in the video when I show you. So this is seriously, I can't tell you how much I love this yarn. So I am knitting something with it, and I'll show you what I am knitting. It's the pattern that came. So for people that are in the black sheep level, they get 2 skeins of yarn and a pattern and a little gift. And I forgot to grab the gift, but it was really cute. So here's where we're at. And look at how much life I mean, it's just unreal. And I can't stop. Here it is caked up, because it's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. So that's the yarn. The pattern is called the half and half. I think it's the half and half cowl. And I'm gonna show it to you real quick because I loved it for multiple reasons with this yarn. So this pattern has it in, I think, a worsted weight and in a chunky weight. So you can kind of see this is the chunky weight, but she has it so you can wear it like so many ways. Look at that. That's how I imagine wearing this. But there's a bunch of different ways to wear it. However you throw it on is how you're gonna wear it. So I specifically let this yarn do what it wanted to do, and you'll see in the videos, in the mill videos. So it's not, I decided just because of the way it was spinning, I was just going to not fight it and let it spin up. And then I just went for it and said, okay, fine, let's spin up kind of like a hand spun yarn. So it's not perfect. It's uneven in spots. It's got little wonks in spots. You can kind of see that it's not, you know, there's stuff happening. And you know what, it's okay. If you've ever knit with hand spun, it just evens itself out. And it adds a little bit of texture. And I thought that for that pattern in a chunky, that the texture was just gonna add to it versus take anything away from it. And it's a knit and purl for the most root point. So all those little lumps and bumps are just kind of gonna even themselves out, and I think add a little extra to the pattern. So that is Yarn Club. I only have like 2 skeins of it left. So I'm gonna guess that somebody will want to buy it up in Yarn Club, but if you're in Yarn Club and you want more, I have 2 skeins. So message me. I'm not even gonna put it in the online shop right now. If they don't sell, I will put them in the online shop. So my sister lives in LA and she's not going to knit that. I just know she won't. So I did something special for her because there is also, I mentioned a free pattern, which I will put in the show notes because I can't remember it here, for a bag knitted in chunky yarn. So she is getting 1 skein of the white, and then I dyed up a skein because in the picture the bag is a 2-tone. So I dyed up a little bit of I said, what are your favorite colors? And she said blue and green. So I dyed up this beautiful skein. It's still drying, but so this is the bottom of the bag, and then the top will be white. And it will be really cute. I think it will look very beachy and fun. And if you like this and for some reason you want me to do this for your yarn, I could, if you already have gotten it, I could actually make it happen still. Or I can do it to the last 2 skeins. So Yarn Clubbers, you get a chance at it first, and after that I will put it up online. Or you can message me and say I must have it, but it's really pretty spectacular yarn. I'm very excited and pretty proud of it too. So, and the skeins weigh like 5.5 ounces for 200 yards. That tells you how big and chunky they are. So there's Yarn Club. Fiber Club I'm gonna show you next time because this is long enough. The next Yarn Club will go out in September, and you can sign up now if you are interested. There's 3 levels, 1, 2, and black sheep. One sheep, 2 sheep, black sheep. 1 sheep, you just get 1 skein of yarn. And I still think I recommend the patterns in it. No, maybe I don't, just because, but I did recommend another pattern because you only have 1 skein. Level 2 is you get 2 skeins of yarn, and level 3 is you get 2 skeins of yarn, a gift, and a pattern. A pattern and other pattern recommendations. So there's Yarn Club. I'm really proud of this yarn. I hope everybody likes it. And it's a pretty special yarn. I mean, it's a pretty special wool. And the wool came from Maria Rooney, who I did the Shepherd Saturday on a couple weeks ago. So that was part of that wool buy that I couldn't share at the time. So, Yarn Club. So that's what I'm working on, that cowl. And my sweater update. So last night I spun up the last of what I need so I can ply. What are you doing, little girl? This little cat is sitting here. So here's where I'm at on my sweater. Let me not pull it off the needles and pull all this other stuff off. So I have finished with the lower back portion. And now, and this is pretty fun actually. So I still have all of it on the needles, but I bound off, and then I'm working on the left side, So here's our, so I bound off for the sleeve, and then I'm working my way up, and this will be the front sleeve. See, isn't that fun? So I still have, I didn't even need stitch holders yet. I thought that was kind of a fun way to do that. So it is coming along, and I plan to work on it quite a bit, and I can ply up the last bit of it I'm gonna apply it up while I'm on my staycation. And I have enough left that I might do one more skein and put it up for sale or use it as a giveaway or something. So we'll see how that goes. Is that it? There's not a whole lot of new stuff in the shop. There will be new stuff coming because I have gotten through Yarn Club and Fiber Club. So as soon as I'm back from staycation, I'll be powering through on some new hand spinning fibers and some new yarn. And I do have one fun thing that I thought I'd show you. Though, yeah, I sold quite a bit of stuff at the last festival. So I would dye stuff, show it online, and never get to the website because there are a few little things that I snuck in there. But this is one of the tops that I dyed right before. I call it Purple People Eater, and it's got purple, and hopefully you can see there's some blues in there too. So if that's your jam, this is just a 21 micron, so it's next to skin, wool blend I get from Pendleton. So that's something fun and new. But everything else, a lot of the new stuff I put on social media that I was dyeing up, it disappeared, which is great. But don't worry, more yarns and fibers are coming soon, so keep an eye out on social media and on the website. I think that might be it. I really feel like I'm missing something, but I think that's it. So I think what I'm gonna do is go straight into what's going on at the mill, and then as usual, I'll just cut out from there. So, and I do have quite a few videos on making this yarn because it was such a new experience for me, and I did have to let go, and I am so glad I did because I think it turned out spectacular. It does justice to the breed, I think, and really highlights how amazing their wool is. And if you can track down some of and I actually do have one small fleece left that I will probably turn into roving because it's a lot shorter and there's not very much of it. So I'll probably turn it into roving, and that'll end up on the website pretty soon. So anyway, I hope that covered enough stuff for you guys. I thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. As you can tell, I get a thank you card in the mail, and I literally am like taken to tears. So when you guys put comments down, I really do get excited about it. I'm not just saying it. So okay guys, so I think that's it for this time. I hope you enjoyed the mill tour. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all healthy. Most of the kids are out to summer break. Hopefully you're vaccinated and feeling safe and comfortable. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot, you guys. This Saturday, which is the 19th, I think, I will have mill hours. Not mill, I should say shop hours here at the mill, and time for social knitting and getting together. So this Saturday, I believe it's the 19th, I'll put everything in my show notes from 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. I will be here. I will have product open. I will have a table set up if people want to come and sit and knit or spin. If it gets to be too many people, we will move some people outside because I think it's going to be a nice weekend. So we'll set up outside and then people can do more outside socializing. I will be requiring people to wear masks, and if you're vaccinated and you've missed me, feel free to give me a hug because I am vaccinated, and I will be so happy to see you all. So I will put it all in my show notes. I can't believe I forgot. It was like, it's a huge thing I was supposed to say. So thank you so much for joining me. Everybody take care. Have a wonderful start to your summer. Be safe, be healthy, be kind to your neighbors. Happy Pride Month. Love everybody, and be kind to everybody. All right, until next time, I'll be here. Thank you. Hi everyone, welcome to the mill. It's really loud today because I have things running. So I'm gonna flip, and of course, you can see I'm at the draw frame right now. And roving's going in, roving's going through, roving's coming out. There's some finished, ready for its second run through the draw frame. And then we've got the fiber here, and this is Horn Dorset, and they are on the conservation list, so it's fun to have this. It's a very, very, very lofty wool. I'm sure I'll talk about it in the podcast, but wool is not generic, that's for sure, and it spins differently, and it's doing everything differently. So for this yarn, I am just letting it tell me what it wants to do, and it wanted to be a very big chunky farm yarn, so that's what they're getting in Fiber Club. And so this is my backup here to what's running in. I'm gonna run a little short on what I need, so I carded up more. Okay, sorry, I had to check to make sure what I was plying was coming out. So here is the horn Dorset coming out, and I'll run a little bit for a second so you can see. Kind of see that fiber coming out. And it's running pretty thin because I'm doing yarn. So I run it a little bit thinner through there. Sorry guys for the sound, this is mill life. I don't have anything in the picker. That will be Fiber Club pretty soon. Okay, so continuation of mill tour. That is all about yarn and Fiber Club. So I am skeening up yarn today. This is the very last of the Yarn Club yarn that I am plying, skeening, and washing. I'm not steaming this time, I'm washing it. So you can see I am doing this a little bit differently because it's a little hard to explain, but not really. So I'm pulling it off of the bobbin down at the bottom there and skeening it up this way. Usually it would go through my steamer onto a cone. The cone would sit, but the people that I bought the mill equipment from switched it up to work for them, and now it may not be working for me, but that's okay. We're gonna make some changes. So if so you can see there used to be little metal posts there, and that would be because then the bobbin could sit there and go straight up into the skein because the yarn would get just pulled straight up. So that does not exist there anymore. So Mitch is working on, maybe not before harvest, but he's gonna work on replacing those. And then, so now, basically, I'm just doing it one by one off of my Lazy Kate that I have for hand spinning, and it's working. It's doing the trick. Thank goodness I have that. The problem is if it doesn't have that bar, it just eventually falls over and it just becomes a mess. So anyway, I'm going to turn this on. You guys can see this. Then we're going to go into, I'm going to stand up here. Then we'll go into the room where we are set up for plying right now. I was just trying to get 2 more bobbins to finish the last of it, and it will be loud everywhere we go. So actually it'll get loud, so I'll warn you. And this gets a little bit loud, but we'll see. Okay, so while that's going, we're gonna cruise into the spinning room. And luckily it's nice and cool again and not raining, but cool. So that's half the battle. So you can see I have got the bobbins all set up here. This is actually my last run on this yarn. Woo, thank goodness, because there's a lot of Yarn Club subscribers. So I had to bust out quite a bit of yarn, which was good, except for, as I've talked about, I ran out of wool, everything. So we're about to start this up. I have to load up these last 2 bobbins. I'm gonna try to get you guys somewhere where you can see, and then I'll start it up, and it will get loud, so turn it down. All right, so now here you are. I'm gonna try to step over you. You guys are underneath, so I'm gonna see if I can do this, and you guys can see what's going on here. So I'm just winding the bobbin, winding a little bit of yarn onto the bobbin here. And it slides on, and there's a little clip here that I clip in, and that one's just about ready to go. And then we have one more. And I'm doing this a little weird just so you guys can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Winding a little bit on just so it kind of has a lead to attach to. It slides on. Put it in a little clip, tension clip, and then this comes down just as a guide, and we feed the yarn in there, and I'm going to do the rest of them. And then I will pick you up and I'm going to flip you around. Okay, and we are ready to go. All the bobbins are on, everything's a check. chores. It's not super pretty, but it's where I have a big wash tub. So here is our yarn. And I'm going to soak it, as I talked about, rather than steaming it. Here's some of it anyway. And you can see that it's unbalanced. And by unbalanced, I mean, see how this skein is turning back. Usually a balanced skein of yarn will just kind of hang like so, but this one's curling. That's totally normal before it's soaked. So when I soak it, that's gonna kind of calm everything down. And in theory, when you're done, it should be basically like this. It's okay for yarn to have a little bit of life and a little bit of twist to it, but it won't have that much. So I am going to set the wash tubs up and then let you guys see how I go from here. So basically this is like 2 pounds of yarn, I think, easily. This yarn is very heavy. And so I'm just adding a little bit of a wool silk plan, which lots of us use. And I got this like a kind of a lukewarm. And I'm just going to go skein by skein, and I just put them in little quadrants, which I'll show you at the end, just to make it easier for me to pull them out. And for whatever reason, this is quickly becoming my very favorite way to do this. So we'll see if I keep skeining, or if I decide that I would prefer to wash all the skeins. I'm going to show you bloom here in a second by showing you, and actually, if I run you over here right now without getting you sick, you can kind of see what I'm talking about when I talk. So you can see the parts that are sticking out of the water versus how fat and chunky. I mean, you can see like this is not in the water yet. That is in the water. How much bloom, and by that we mean just like poof, there is to this yarn once it starts to soak. So I will basically just push it in, and it'll just happen pretty much as I'm pushing in here. Put my other side off. And so I am just loving washing yarn like this, and I think it's just because I get to get my hands in it just one last time before I actually skein it. So anyway, I'll do the other side, and I just let them sit for like 15 minutes or so, same as you would if you were washing something that you had just finished, or just washing a wool sweater. I'll just let them sit, and then I'll pull them out and let you go from there. Okay, last little clip here. Can you tell that one of these things is not like the other? So one of them I did not soak yet, and you can tell that the third one to the left, kind of in the middle there, still has that extra twist on it, while the rest of them are laying pretty flat. So that's what I was talking about balance. So the other ones are much more balanced now. I'm going to come in and see, hopefully you can kind of see how different these look. It's so hard to show up in a camera, but this one's just still a lot tighter, whereas these ones are a lot, and they almost have a different color because they do have a bit of a different color because the yarn opened up, so it's a little bit less saturated in the stuff that's been soaked versus what has not been soaked. So there's the bloom. It is pretty obvious. Okay, I think I'm done. Thanks for watching, guys. And Yarn Club people, I hope you love this yarn. It's been a labor of love, but I think she turned out beautiful. Thank you.